we are here to cover 3 characteristics of each sign that you might not know about. Not offhand, anyways. So, let's get right into it. Each sign does have its secret aspects and secret qualities that does not go by textbook measures. So, without any further wait, let's get into it. First, with Aries. You might be surprised to find out that the sign of Aries is actually pretty sensitive. Yes, they are. I know, they don't show it. They don't show it much. But things like going against what they say sometimes, or if they feel threatened or attacked, they get pretty sensitive on you. The only thing is, most times they'll come back at you with quick words and actions. They are also secretive. Yes, that's right. As outgoing and forthright as an Aries can be, yes, many of them are very secretive. They'll talk with you, laugh, play, and there are things that they reveal about themselves. But you will be surprised to find out that after a conversation with an Aries, a lot of times you may not know exactly who they are as a person or aspects about every little detail of their life. Of course, I feel like if you get to be one of those lucky people, like a lover or very, very close friend, you're definitely going to get more information. But Aries can be very, very secretive. Intellectual. Oh yes, Aries are intellectual. No, they're not generally considered or typically considered an intellectual sign. However, Aries definitely are intellectuals. They can be. Aries will go and find out any type of information that they need. It doesn't matter what it is. If they need the information or they need to find it out if it's going to benefit them, even if it's going to one-up them over their competitor, they're going to find out. That means that they'll research, they'll do the work, they'll Google it. But yes, they're definitely intellectuals. So the sign of Aries, sensitive, secretive, and intellectual. Taurus. Oh boy. Tauruses are creative. I know. When you think of the sign of Taurus, you don't usually think of creativity, but they are the creators. They love material. And the only way you really get material is through creativity. Just think about it. Anything that you're trying to manifest or bring down into physical form, it takes a certain amount of creativity, inventiveness in order to pull that off. So Tauruses is definitely able to bring into existence what they want to create because they have the patience to do so and they have the drive. So they will work hard, long hours on their creation until it suits their needs and the needs of others, especially in business aspects. Controlling. Yep. Yes. Taurus, come on. You know you're controlling. Just a little bit. Tauruses can be controlling. Well, I mean, of course, their opposite sign is Scorpio, but still they can be controlling. And this is all because of their ability to focus energy in ways that many others cannot. Unless you're another earth sign. And still, Taurus has the ability to focus energy and drive and push it into the direction that it needs it to go. It molds and shapes energy. And you can see in this type of energy, the process of it translate over into their everyday lives. And even when they're dealing with people. And it only makes sense that if they're going to deal with you in situations around them, in order to make their environment as predictable as possible, reliable as possible, they're going to want to control that environment. And yes, my dear, they can be in control of you. Motivated. I should have said this first. Tauruses are definitely very motivated. When we think of the word motivation, what do we think of? Usually, a Sagittarius, maybe an Aries, sometimes Leo. But Taurus takes the prize for motivation this time around. They're highly motivated. They have to be. They motivate themselves by the outcome of the situation, what the outcome is going to be, what they want the outcome to be. Remember, this focused, controlled energy, and maybe it takes long hours, maybe it takes trial and error. So they have to steadily build and obtain and conquer new grounds. Only a motivational person can do that. So Tauruses, my friends, I am going to give you the first place prize of motivation to describe your characteristics. Taurus, creative, controlling, and motivated. Gemini, many will be quite surprised to hear that Geminis are leaders. And it's very weird. I know, awkward. Yes, maybe. Untraditional. Yet, time and time again, Geminis tend to come in, do something different that nobody else is doing, and other people tend to follow. Even if everybody don't follow, others tend to follow. Even though Gemini never says, hey guys, I'm the leader, follow me. As a matter of fact, the whole point is for Gemini to express its uniqueness, to go against the grain, to be a bit rebellious, but yet and still you will find others happily following along. And this makes the sign of Gemini an unwarranted leader, but still a leader nonetheless. Silence. Oh, I know for a fact this is just so completely different and unusual from the basic information that you would get about the sign of Gemini. Why? Because they're so communicative and they're so talkative and they're so expressive. But many fail to relay the message that expressiveness happens in other ways, not just through verbal communication. And you might want to note that at all times, whether a Gemini is silent and loudly speaking through their demeanor, still, that's expressiveness for a Gemini. And you have to remember that there are large amounts of time that Geminis go without verbally expressing. And there's a lot that you find out about a Gemini that you didn't know because they never told you. So they can be rather silent. And there's a lot about their personal information that they don't divulge either. And you just find it out. It's either you know or you don't know. Either you're in the circle or you're not in the circle. Either way, many will be surprised to find out that Geminis are more silent than you could have ever imagined. Seductive. Geminis are definitely seductive, and as a matter of fact, one of the ways that they express themselves is through their sexuality. That rarely requires words, although they can put a good spin and wordplay on how that goes as well. Have you ever bantered with one? Not yet, and still. There's seduction that takes place because people are usually curious about who this person is, why they behave the way that they do, the rebel / sexual aspect to the Gemini, which really is strongly influenced by duality. Geminis could definitely be very in tune with their sexuality, very sexually expressive, and seductive. You can see in a lot of Gemini females, especially the younger ones, to where they don't mind showing a little skin. And the more of their arms and shoulders that they can show, the better. Okay? So, and it's a God-given right. The sexuality of a Gemini acts as a sort of freedom, just like anything else. You have no right to ban me on this and that and tell me what to do. I cannot wear clothes if I don't want to. But that's not the point. The point is that the energy of Geminis are very, very seductive, which is we don't hear a lot of people talking about. Their sexuality is off the chain and they're very expressive through their sexuality. We don't hear this a lot. Remember, this usually is given to Scorpio. So, the sign of Gemini, leaders, silence, and seductive. That brings us to the sign of Cancer. Wow. Yes. Cancers always get stuck with the I want to be home in my room sulking away. Many would be surprised to know and find out that Cancers are actually the go-getters of the zodiac. Name a Cancer that you know that wanted something and didn't go get it. I'll wait. Cancers, if they ever have obstacles, if they find their way past those obstacles, which is they will, they can become highly successful. And this influences others. This all comes from the go-getter attitude, all comes from the fact that, yes, they want to make sure that they're secured. They want to make sure that their family's secured. And how do you make sure that all of this takes place in this society? You go get the bag. Cancers are also loners. They can be huge loners. I know. They're family oriented though. They like family time. Yes, they do. But most of the times, you definitely can find Cancers back at his house in the resume. Okay. You definitely can find Cancers at the house in the room chilling, watching a good old show, maybe even Wendy Williams. You know, she's a Cancerite. They are also accomplished. Like I said, they're go-getters. What do you think that they're doing when they're spending that time alone? Thinking of new ways to go get the bag. They could be extremely accomplished. And it's so funny because many people let that fact that their accomplishments or that they could be so highly accomplished slip under the radar. And most times they are responsible for keeping the cash flowing throughout their household, because Cancers, even the women, if need be, they'll go out and work. They'll go out and do what they need to do to make sure that things are on the up and up. So, way to go, Cancers. You definitely are the accomplished ones, might I add. Might I say? Cancers, go-getters, loners, and accomplished. Leos. You will definitely be surprised to hear and find out that you, my friends, are the saviors. Yes, you are. Name a Leo that you can't dial up right now and ask for some sort of help in any way or fashion, and they're going to try to show up and they're going to try to help you. Yes, some of them find it hard to say no. And the closer you are to them, loved ones, intimate relationships and partnerships, the more they're going to show up. And the reason why I say the savior is because they can definitely come to save the day for people that didn't have any other option, didn't know what else they were going to do. Leos can be counted on. And I mean that from the heart. They are also very open-minded. And they are, because they give a lot of leadway to people that they're in a relationship with and people that they deal with in particular. Even information. Leos are intellectual. They don't just base all of their knowledge and knowing on one subject area. Even though they may show up that way, you better believe that behind the scenes, they learn a lot. And they like to actually apply what they learn or keep it tucked away so that if they need it one day or they need it for it to help someone else out, they're going to do so. Leos definitely are sexually expressive. Now, they get handed the crown of creativeness. And I can see that, but I feel like it really shines through in a very authentic way when they are free to be themselves, okay? And express themselves on an intimate level with another person that they love and care about, because they like to feel safe in doing so. A lot of times, Leos won't really express themselves in their creativity in the way that they can, because it puts them in a vulnerable position. Everybody's around. Just think about a lion's den. In a lion's den at the zoo, you don't go get in a lion's den. You stand from afar and you watch, and you only witness what's going on. You're not a part of it. So they really let loose in an intimate way, and I think they're hard to match in the way that they do that if they're open and trusting of the situation. If they're shut down, there may be a whole nother thing, but they really come through in that area, and they can be very sexually expressive. Saviors, open-minded, and sexually expressive. Virgos. Many would be so surprised to find out that Virgos often fantasize a lot. Yes, Virgos, sometimes you guys live in a fantasy world, fantasy land. Now, many people will never know this or ever find this out, but you guys can be quite imaginative. And a lot of times you'll be imaginative behind the scenes, but you won't bring it to the forefront. Why? Because you ask yourself, can I make money with this? How far is this going to go? And okay, there's no need for me to do this. But lots of times, though, you guys bring your imagination forward in a very practical way. And sometimes it can take away from the effect of how imaginative you can be and what you can create from that place of imagination, because you want to be so practical. But you fantasize all day. Some of you guys fantasize about the life that you want to live and the life that you want to have, and you actually work towards building it. That is the fantastic, amazing thing about a Virgo. You can actually work towards what you fantasize. I really wonder what it would be like to be inside of some of you guys' fantasies. Virgos are also very, very wise. Yes, I said it. I did. They're wise. The thing about it is, I feel like where most people get lost in the wisdom of Virgo is because Virgo comes off so critical with the delivery. I mean, they're ruled by Mercury. What can we say? But still, Virgos are wise. A lot of people will dismiss what a Virgo says just to come around and see, oh my gosh, this person was right. And then again, some people never see that you are right because of the delivery. Yet and still, Virgos definitely are wise ones. And Virgos, oh my gosh, I'm about to drop a dime. You like to be noticed. Virgos like to be noticed for their efforts. And it really can bother a Virgo sometimes to see other people get noticed for their talents and their creativity and the way that they can be imaginative and expressive in a non-practical way. And it bothers a Virgo because a Virgo could say, you know what? I've been doing this all along. I've been putting in work. Where did you come from? And you just come and you storm up here and you get noticed. And it could really put a damper on the Virgo and the direction the Virgo can go in, and the Virgo can retreat back in to itself instead of bringing the heat. And the next time you're around a wise, imaginative Virgo, do them the honors of notifying them that you definitely appreciate it. Doesn't matter if they snap your head off afterwards. But still, one and the same. Virgos, definitely fantasizers, wise, and want to be noticed. Libras, oh my goodness. Libras love attention. I know it, yes. Who would have thought? They definitely love attention. And it comes from the fact that Libras, the beauty and life itself, the way that they express themselves. Why wouldn't you want to look at all the fabulousness? They are rather unique. No one ever talks about the uniqueness of a Libra. But a Libra is very unique. They can show up very unique, and they'll do things and utilize what is in their possession to create the uniqueness and put it out there in a way that no one ever can. And their uniqueness is usually appreciated, but doesn't really get the proper admiration of it being unique, because it's like a smooth, polished effect that the Libra usually brings across when we're talking about bringing over and displaying their uniqueness. But still, they are very unique, and they are versatile. Yes, I get it. That's usually a Gemini trait. Libras are versatile. Libras can be put in any situation at any time, still pull it off with great customer service, with great perseverance, and the best attitude I've seen any other sign be able to do. So, Libras, you get the award for the best unique way to deliver your versatility. And Libras like attention, unique, and versatile. Scorpios can be very unmaterialistic. Yup, that's right. I know, right? It seems like they can't. Well, it's only because if you think about all the water signs seek security because that's their safe haven. When Scorpios want to get away from the world, the wild world, when they're done being a part of it and they want to come away and go away and hide, they have to have their own spot, right? Okay, this is where materialism comes in handy. But they can easily give. And it may not even be like a house or a car or a piece of property that Scorpio wants. Maybe their partner wants it, or they know that that's the best way to deliver their partner the ultimate security so that they can want for nothing. But really, the Scorpio can care less when you think about it. They could be very giving of their things, their money, their finances, and their time. And they can really accept people that may not fit into the normal way of life, or people that's a little bit abnormal and quirky and not afraid to be themselves. So this brings us to the next characteristic of a Scorpio that we may not know about. That is accepting. They can be people. They can accept people that others won't accept. Maybe it's because of their looks. Maybe it's because of the nature of the person. Scorpio does rule the taboo thing. So you can see them in real taboo, odd type relationships as well. That's highly functional because they were able to look past the physical aspects and they were able to get to the core of who that person is. And oh my goodness, guys, why? But Scorpios love attention. Yes, that's right. They like attention. And they're going to want a fair share of attention from their partners. And they're the ones that they are intimate with, or they will cut up on you. They will definitely cut up on you. And they'll be hard to handle. So the next time you're around your Scorpio, please give them a little bit of attention. No, lots of attention. Now, they're going to act like they don't want it. That doesn't mean anything. Give it to them anyways. Scorpios, unmaterialistic, accepting, and they needs they attention. Sagittarius, oh boy. Don't everybody come after me at once when I say this, but Sagittarius can definitely be very loyal. Yeah, You're not going to be able to stunt their freedom and hold them back in any kind of way, but they're loyal. They're just let them go. Let them go. And when they come back, they're back. If you try to get in their way, that's where the problems come in. But they're loyal. They're going to ride and die for you until you give them reasons not to ride and die for you. And if you ever do that, they're gone. Emotional. This is all because they're so emotional. They're highly emotional. No, they don't present their emotions in a way that they're just crying and bawling and whining and playing victim all day. They don't do that. They take their emotions, they suck it up. They're very sensitive. They may curse you out once or twice, but they'll just go and leave you wondering what happened sometimes, because their emotions are so deep and mushy. They'll never admit this. They'll never admit this. They may not admit this because it's not a mushy, like they want you to be clingy with them. It's a certain sensitivity, but they're definitely emotional. And that is why a lot of times, they're good with Cancers, Tauruses, like people that's not really going to keep picking at their past or bringing up stuff to them that they move past. They want to move past something and be beyond it, and that can put them, that's because of their the emotional extent that they can go. And for them, it can turn into something very harsh. And they know this about themselves, but they have a great emotional capacity. Okay, be intimate with one. And they are charming. Yes. It's not a surprise. I mean, guys, this goes hand in hand with what? Their emotions and their loyalty. They are charming, even though that the charming gets associated with Scorpio or Libra. Sagittarius can be highly charming. The way that they're freedom loving, the way that they express themselves. They can be charming and flirtatious, and they can also charm people with their gains, what they've accomplished, what they can offer the person. People can be charmed in other manners than just, a smile and a wink. Remember that. And they can be charming with their words. They can use their words for viciousness or to charm people. The only thing, I feel like the reason why they're so good at charming is because a lot of their charming is they're not knowing that they're necessarily charming. They just naturally are. Okay? Sagittarius, loyal, emotional, and charming. Capricorn, shake what your mama gave you. Shake, 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 shake. Capricorn. Guys, I think this one takes the cake. You guys would be so eager and joyful to find out that Capricorns are open-minded. Yes, actually, Capricorns are open-minded, regardless of what associations is getting placed on them. Remember, it's the energy that is happening to us that's how we're responding and reacting. However, it doesn't really take away from our uniqueness. And as a matter of fact, if you take a Capricorn and Capricorn's fears and struggles and the need to be safe sometimes, take the safe role, is there because of experiences they had in their life to where they feel like it's necessary. Although, don't get it twisted, they are very open-minded because they often think about, they're very deep thinkers. They often think about what their next move is going to be, how they're going to do it. If something fails, what's next? So that takes a lot of open-mindedness, because you got to be able to get out of one mindset to get into another mindset to accomplish something that you were once, that was impossible or you once struggled at. They just don't really express what's on their mind a lot. That's all. but they're open-minded when they want to be. Okay, and they are intuitive. Capricorns are so intuitive. They don't really like to do a lot of talking, not just for no reason. No, they have to have a point for what they're saying and why they're saying it. I know I have Capricorn friends, and that's how they are. So a lot of what they do and how they express themselves and what they say is very intuitive. You have to really tune into the Capricorn to understand their behavior sometimes, because it's a lot that they don't really want to say unless they're sure of. Or dealing with a Capricorn, you might be dealing with a Capricorn and you might be talking to them one day, the next day they're taking a couple steps back. You're trying to figure out, okay, what's going on? They're really trying to sense out their environment, who this is that they're communicating with, why, and try to figure things out. Really, they like planning, you know. It's the way for them to be sure. So they got to take a few steps back, or they really got to, you know, deal with certain fears and insecurities around what it is. They want to be sure. So they're intuitive. It helps for their partner to be kind of intuitive, to be able to tune in and do all that type of stuff. Okay. Capricorns, don't hate me for this one, but Capricorns, you definitely can be childish. Capricorns can be childish. Oh, yes. They can go into some pretty childish behaviors, but it's only because of their sensitivity. Now, this ties back into the intuitiveness of a Capricorn. Their sensitivities are high sometimes, and that could cause them to be kind of sharp and sarcastic to mask those sensitivities. And I might say it's quite seductive for somebody like me. So here we go with the Capricorn. But yes, and Geminis get pinned with the childish behavior lots of times. But, you know, as mature as a Capricorn could be, there's times when they react in childish ways to get their point across. It's just me. But like I said, I kind of like it. Capricorns, open-minded, intuitive, and childish at times due to their high sensitivities. Aquarius. Yes, Aquariuses, you guys have to know that they are caring. Aquariuses are very caring. Aquarius will look out for the group, not just themselves. Some kind of way it ends up benefiting themselves, benefiting the groups, benefit themselves, but still, they will do that. They will look out for the best outcome for the group and everybody else a lot of times before themselves, because they know that if we are all functioning the best that we can as a whole, we're taken care of. They're also very giving. They will give their last. They will give the shirt off of their back. They will give up their material goods and necessities to say, hey, you know what? You need it. Obviously, you need it more than me. Here you go. So, yes, Aquariuses can be very caring and giving. And we have to add the fact that they're clever. Because like I said, some kind of way their caring and giving also benefits them. They are clever. I always think of them as genius. They don't really like to go talking. I don't really see Aquariuses doing too much talking in that aspect. It's really interesting because a lot of air signs don't. You know, they communicate in teaching or expressing their feelings. But other than that, you know, even bringing it back to an Aquarius just don't really care to teach people a bunch of different stuff. Aquarius is like, okay, either you know or you don't know. That is the question. Aquarius, caring, giving, and clever. Last but definitely not least on the radar is Pisces. Many of you guys will be so thrilled to find out that Pisces is actually very vocal. Oh, yes. And you don't want to be at the other end of that wrath when they let their feelings out and emotions out on you. You will get hammered. You will be drowned. You will drown. Okay? Pisces are definitely very vocal. They can express themselves in profound ways. This also gives way to the fact that Pisces are strategic. No one would ever think of a Pisces as being strategic, but they are. A Pisces could be doing one thing, and then they come around and they done made like this big, powerful move, and they're doing something else. And they're making lots of money behind it. And then the thing about it is they're getting it so quick and so fast because they don't even really care about the money. I mean, they like money. They love it like anybody else because we need it. But at the same time, they don't really care about it. They're just doing what they do. They're just doing what they love. They can be very smart in that way. And they could be famous. Yes, famous. We don't usually talk about fame with Pisces. We usually associate that with one of the fire signs, especially Leo, or really like a lot of the 10th house placements. But dealing with Pisces, Neptune, Jupiter, hello, Pisces easily can draw a crowd, okay, on a large scale and lead to quick fame, quick notoriety. But the part about it is keeping it up. If they don't have certain placements in their chart, they could want to flee or run from that. It's almost like they never seen it coming type fame. Pisces, vocal, strategic, famous. Okay, guys, that's it for the 3 aspects of each sign that you probably didn't even know or pay attention to about each sign. This is your girl Butterfly to like, share, subscribe. I will be back with more of the signs.